Welcome to Michael Brue Unplugged. I'm Michael Brue, your host for today. Got a great show coming up. Got my guest speaker, Boettge. He's the broker of record, team leader for Keller Williams of the Palm Beaches. We're going to talk about two things. One, we're going to talk about sales and what it takes to drive more sales. Two, we're going to talk about the company. We're going to let you have an inside look on how Brett and I would chat and just simply share with you what's going on the inside. And we're back here with Michael Brue Unplugged. Today's guest is Boettge, and Boettge is the Keller Williams Realty of the Palm Beaches broker of record and team leader on site. And he's here with us to share what it takes for an agent to be successful and make it in today's market. So Brett, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. It's really an honor to be here today. I'm excited.
You know, this is going to be really cool because Brett brings such an outsider view, right? Because we actually imported Brett all the way down from Wisconsin.
I was smuggled in, right across the border.
And so that was fun. And I think he's going to bring a real new and fresh outlook on what it takes for an agent to be successful in today's real estate market. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So with that said, Brett, what does it take for an agent to be successful in today's real estate market?
That's a great question, Michael, and I think it requires a lot of things to be successful in today's market. But most importantly, you have to show up with heart, drive, and a desire to succeed at a very high level, because the industry has been so heavily documented over the years that the how-tos are just there. So how to generate leads, how to do a listing presentation, all those things exist for you in a real estate company, especially one that's so well franchised like Keller Williams Realty. What you'll find is that with all those tools, the missing link is simply the heart, the desire, and the drive. That's the biggest piece to succeeding in real estate today.
So let me ask you specifically, how do you help today's agent achieve their goal or get on the pathway to achieving their goal?
That's a great question. One of the things that we do specifically is identify how to connect that agent with their true potential. So when an associate joins our company, we quickly look at their behavioral profile and say, there's 10,000 ways to go ahead and make money as a real estate agent. With 80,000 associates in Keller Williams Realty, it's our responsibility to support them all. But really only 3 or 4 are going to make sense for any individual agent. So that's what we start with. We figure out what's going to make sense for each individual agent and make sure that they're connected to those tools, not all the tools. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. What I was kind of I think would be neat from your perspective, Brett, is what are the opportunities? What are the unique opportunities that you see down here in South Florida?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, there is so much opportunity down here in South Florida. Wisconsin. I come from Wisconsin, which in the Midwest, prices go up a point, and it's a celebration. And when prices fall a point, it's like, the sky is falling. So it's really interesting to be down here and just see the amount of luxury that's down here and the different opportunities. So in the almost 2 years that I've been down here now, one of the things that I've realized is that there is still a huge buyer's market in our area. So everybody's so focused on a recovery here in South Florida. There's a community that's been kind of left out from that recovery in a lot of cases, and that's your mandatory membership equity golf communities. So in a lot of these communities, you have a great opportunity to still have really powerful pricing conversations and really be the hero. So those communities are out there with a great amount of inventory still available for sale, and they're just waiting for an agent to step up, be extraordinarily strong, and then take dominant market share in those neighborhoods. Because that person truly will guide them through exactly what it takes to get back out of this buyer's market and into more of a recovery mode. So that's certainly an opportunity. One of the other ones that I noticed, Michael, is nobody's from here. So in the time that I've had down here in Florida, I think I've met 3 or 4 true residents that were born and raised here in South Florida.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, one of the great opportunities that you have is through internet lead generation, targeting these buyers and potential sellers while they're sitting on their couch in New York. So if you can be in their living room there before they arrive down here, then you really can earn the right to represent them during that courting period. So I think that's a great opportunity that we have down here in South Florida.
You talk about technology a lot. Technology is certainly something that you do really well. I think you really bring that to the equation with helping an agent achieve their goals. Is there anything specific that you would give us in how to help an agent overcome the learning curve of today's technology?
Yeah, I think that you have to start crossing things off. There's, you've got a Realtor magazine, you've got all these coaches, all these trainers out there in the world that are in 1,000 products a day that infiltrate our inboxes, our voice message boxes. They're just everywhere. And you have to really quickly decide what's going to work for you and what's not. So I think the thing that we can do to best help our associates is to say, okay, this is going to make sense. It's dollar productive. This is something you need to cross off because it's not. And once you get through that short exercise and take everything that you're presented with on a weekly basis and just start crossing things off, you'll only be left with one or two things that are going to make a whole lot of sense for you that'll actually create income. The other piece to this is consistency. So, you go to a seminar and you see somebody that made $2.2 million in gross commission income using the latest widget. What you'll find is that when you get back to the office, you really need to find your way to go ahead and create $2.2 million in gross commission income, not the way that they did it. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And I think what you're saying is kind of keep things in perspective, do them one at a time, and then knock them off and try to master it as you go. So once you've mastered it, then go on and then move on to like the next thing that you can actually take on. My next question was going to be kind of how do you intertwine balance in all this? Because there's so much technology that's coming at our agents on a daily basis. Maybe what are some ways that you can help with increasing the quality of life, and how important is that to you, and how important is that to your agents?
Right. So that's a phenomenal question. And I think that if we are anything, we're a lifestyle company. And in the time that I've got to know you, Michael, that is so unbelievably true. I know that you value your family before everything else, and you treat your agents like family as well, which is terrific. So it's a lot of things to go ahead and say in corporate culture that we are a family-based company and those things, but how do we actually walk the walk is, I think it's a key conversation to have. Yeah. So with technology, you've got a cell phone, which is with you 24 hours a day, and your clients might expect you to be available 24 hours a day.
Sure they do.
So really what you've got to do is take control of the relationship and set up your boundaries right out of the gate. I think that's really it. You've got to decide that most things that need to be handled can be handled between your business hours, whatever you define those as. And anything outside of that, you leverage to members of your team. I think that creates a great opportunity for you to still live a great life. And it starts off with time blocking in your schedule. So I hate to take every conversation back to lead generation. That's where we're going to take it back to, and I think that we're going to do that more often than we don't. So if you want to create a great life, you find that real estate agents, or at least I did, I don't know if this is true for you, Michael, maybe you can answer this. We get into the business for freedom, flexibility, and wealth. Would you agree with that?
Sure we do.
So we get into the business for freedom, flexibility, and wealth, and then once we're here for a while, we realize that if we take the freedom first and the flexibility first, we never end up seeing the wealth. So a laser focus on one thing, which would be generating new business on a daily basis, is really the domino that sets us free as far as living a great life.
I think that's the key, right? The key to success and unlocking that is finding that one thing, drilling down on that one thing, and then becoming so good at that one thing that you make time for everything else in your life.
Right. So if you think about a few great examples of this, is as far as lifestyle goes, if you've ever had an experience where you had a client that might have really had some serious needs that conflicted with your family time. If you have enough clients, you can be extraordinarily selective on exactly how you're going to run your business.
Sure you can.
So very quickly I can say, you know what, this doesn't fall within the way that I choose to operate my business. I've got somebody who specializes in meeting your needs right there. So I think that might be a great opportunity as well to go ahead and create a life worth living, and I think that's what this is all about. So, it's interesting that everything we get into this business for, we find once we get here, in order to achieve it, it's the opposite. It requires a little bit of discipline and a little bit of focus in order to live that really big life.
You're absolutely correct. I think that for years we've been chasing freedom with freedom, when actually in order to experience freedom at a really high level, we've got to chase discipline in a really high way. And the more disciplined we are in the actions that we take, then can we experience ultimate freedom.
You were right on the mark. That sums up that conversation perfectly. I think that's really it right there.
My last question to you would be being the tech guru that you are and that value that you bring to our organization, which I've actually seen you help our agents. I've seen you put countless hours and a ton of passion and drive just pouring into our people, trying to get their technology set up and get it working for them where it works more or less automatically. What I'd like to know is, how do you tie it together? How do you help the agents tie the technology to living that better quality of life?
That's a really great question. And to answer that, you really have to go back to step one, which our belief in our organization is that your business truly is your database. And you have to understand that technology is going to help you run that database at a very high, open 24/7 level. So take that example. I know that if I want to create X amount of income, I need to go out there and meet and communicate regularly with a certain amount of people. That's where this starts, and technology can certainly help you with that. And while you're doing this one thing, just this one thing, going out there and meeting people so that you can stay in touch with them in the future, what you're going to find is that there's 10,000 other things that are going to be coming at you trying to take your focus away from just that.
Absolutely.
So when it comes right down to it, you've got that technology conversation, and everybody's like, well, in today's market, you need to master technology in order to succeed at a high level. You don't. You need to master technology so that you can stay open 24/7. The real money in this business is still made face-to-face at the table meeting people, in my opinion. So I hope that answers your question.
I think you did a great job. Matter of fact, I think you did a great job today answering bullet by bullet each one of these things. And I want to say thank you again for accepting this and coming on the show, because we weren't sure if we could get you to come on and actually reveal some of your secrets. But it sounds like you've actually revealed some of the very key, very simple secrets.
Right.
And so let's just say a big thank you to Brett Boettge. Thanks again for coming on the show.
It was absolutely an honor to be here, so I appreciate it.
Awesome. We're going to have you back again.
Perfect.